Hi, I'm Lucas Mack. I'm a former TV reporter, a published author, TEDx speaker, musician, advertising agency owner, and management consultant. I'm also a former Christian preacher who dedicated 15 years of my life searching for truth and love. I've done a lot of work to heal, and I'm on a mission to see the hurting get healed and the healed go out and heal others, in order for all of us to experience the true love and light we desire. This podcast is me sharing my journey with you, so you don't feel alone in your journey. Welcome to the Golden Rule Revolution. Hello, brothers and sisters, and welcome back to another episode of the Golden Rule Revolution. I am Lucas Mack, your host of this journey where we embark on discovering love, releasing fear, receiving that love so that we can go out and make the greatest impact, positive impact in the lives of other people. This podcast is about treating people like people and nothing less. Not titles, labels, not divisive rhetoric, but true divine sovereign human beings that when we engage each and every person that we encounter, we can look at them and say, yes, dear soul, the divine spark in me honors the divine spark in you. What an amazing time to be alive. Amazing time. This world is so bizarre. Can we say that? It's bizarre. It's a bizarre time. Whether it be what the media pushes, whether it be political rhetoric, it is just an incredibly bizarre time. And yet, it is an incredible time for you, for us, to do the inner work. And what do I mean by inner work? Most people live their lives not going within and searching what makes them the way they are. Why are you the way you are? Why do you think the way you think? Why do you act the way you act? Where did your tightly held beliefs come from? Where did the person who taught you those beliefs, where did they learn those beliefs? What is the origin of that belief? Why do you align with one political party or religious affiliation, and why do others not? These are all the questions that we get to discover and not think of other people, because other people are just on their journey. We're all, Ram Dass, one of the greatest quotes ever by Ram Dass, says we're all just walking each other home. We're all just walking each other home. And I want to walk in solidarity with you. I want to walk arm in arm, standing with you, walking with you. And you doing the inner work to really piece through why you are the way you are, where you've come from, what's your soul's purpose here on earth, what is your mission on earth, what is your vision on earth, why? The great question, why? When you discover that, you can help others discover that for themselves. So yes, this is an incredibly bizarre time, and at the same time, an incredible opportunity to search within. And part of searching within is what I want to talk about today, is going without. I want to talk about, I'm going to pull up an article here that I found, 5 benefits of going out in nature. 5 benefits of going out in nature. The first is a study from the University of Michigan, and it says group nature walks are linked to enhance mental health and positivity, as well as significantly lowers the levels of depression and feelings of stress. That's number 1. It can ease your depression. And as the suicide rate is higher than it's ever been, as so many tragic decisions have been made by humans during the lockdown pandemic, when we really see the destruction and the devastation to businesses and to livelihoods, we are going to wish we had gone out in nature sooner. So benefit number one from just getting out in nature is it can ease your depression. That's a study from the University of Michigan. It also can improve your outlook in life. You know, seeing the glass half full or half empty. And I say it's neither. The glass is always full. It's either half of air or half of water, but it's always full. If you're dealing, so this article says in health.com, it says if you're dreading the thought of spending another workout, chained to the treadmill, move your run outdoors for a quick burst of happiness, a study from Glasgow University showed that people who walked, biked, or ran in nature had a lower risk of poor mental health than people who worked out indoors. So what a great opportunity if you're doing in-home workouts right now to just go for a walk outside. And even if you're in an inner city, this is the great gift that you have. If you're not surrounded by nature, which I hope you are, I hope you can get out to a park, trails, the water, mountains. But if you're not, nature still grows within the city. And what I mean by that, I'm not talking about the trees that are planted. I'm saying that's where you can start to look down at even the weeds that break through the concrete. In our man-made world cannot contain nature. It can hope to push back nature's effect, but it cannot contain or stop nature. You think of any like sci-fi movie, or I'm thinking of some Will Smith movies where it's apocalyptic and they're in New York City. I forget what it's called. Maybe you guys will know what I'm talking about, but nature has grown back in Manhattan. Nature will never stop. So you can find it even within the city is my point. The third benefit from this article is it can improve your focus. Going out in nature can improve your focus. According to a study published in Psychological Science, interacting with nature gives your brain a break from everyday overstimulation, which can have a restorative effect on your attention levels. So what I do is I go out and hike up into the mountains on a weekly basis, and I will focus on the bark of a tree. And I'm even laughing because me now is so different than me years prior, but I will look at the bark of a tree and I will just look at the grooves and the depths, and I talk about it forever. I love it so much. And I will put my hands on that tree and I will just feel the tree and the roots that go into the earth and the roots that are connected to all the other roots into the earth, and how it sources its energy and its power and its strength from its roots. And it goes up and it extends its branches wide and it gives abundantly. It's never in scarcity, and it bends and moves towards the light. It's not rigid. And when the wind blows, it moves with it, and it is a great dance. When I go out in nature, I am blown away how much humans have forgotten where we've come from. And I don't mean caveman. I don't even believe that narrative of caveman unintelligent. I mean, Atlantis, ancient Egypt, all the great megaliths built around the world, the pyramids built around the world. We think we're so much more intelligent, like we have greater technology. We actually don't know the technologies that they had. But one thing that happens is when we're told that we've come from a smaller evolved brain and we've evolved, we have some arrogance today that we don't look back and realize we've always been connected to this earth. We are part of this earth in a synonymous relationship to steward well this earth. So when we can go out into nature and look and remember, we're all part of this. We're going to go back to the earth. This body goes back to the earth. This is not, your body is not you. This is not me. I am aware of this body. I'm aware that I'm even speaking right now. So I am the awareness within of my thoughts. I'm not even my thoughts. A great book, I've talked about it before on the podcast, is The Untethered Soul. I recommend everyone going and buying that and reading it. The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. Talking about awareness, but it reminds me when I go out into nature that, okay, trees never worry about the sun, the darkness, the rain, the wind, the cold, the heat. They just stand in their power and their majesty and their vulnerability to receive all that is good and then release all that no longer serves it. And that is what you and I get to do. That is what I get when I go out into nature. The fourth and very important thing right now, according to this article on health.com, it can strengthen your immunity. Yes. The thing that we all need more than bracing against not getting sick is increasing our immunity system. Fun fact, it says the latest get healthy pill isn't found in your medicine cabinet. It's in your backyard. Researchers at Tokyo's Nippon Medical School found that women who spent 6 hours in the woods over the course of 2 days had an increase in virus and tumor fighting white blood cells. And the boost lasted at least 7 days afterwards. So for 7 days after spending at least 2 days in the woods, the white blood cell count increased. Tell me that's not incredible. You want to boost your immunity? Go out into nature. Go out into nature. Increase your immunity. Humans are super beings. We're not a virus on the earth. We're not a scourge on the earth. We are super divine beings that can bring forth the most majestic creations and connect to nature and be part and listen to the wisdom that we can get from the trees, the ferns. I was talking to some friends last night. We had a fire and we were sitting around a campfire. And I was talking to them about what I had discovered last week, or I had this realization. I thought, what if I look at trees as the masculine energy? Trees are very masculine energy. And it says in Psalm 1:1, David wrote, "Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law does he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season, that whatsoever he doeth shall prosper." I'm like, what does it mean to be like a tree? And I've done at men's retreats, ask, what type of tree are you? Are you a palm tree? Are you a mighty fern, oak? What type of tree are you? Deciduous, evergreen? But I was walking the other day and I thought, I really think that trees are the masculine. What if, this is hypothetical, but this is where I was thinking. What if the trees are the masculine souls of all species that have ever inhabited the earth? And they give, which is masculine energy. They give, and they also are able to receive because they're in balance and they're in wholeness. They're in health. So they give and receive. And what drops onto the floor of the forest? All their wisdom. And what receives their wisdom? What collects the wisdom? I thought, ferns. Ferns are the feminine energy, the species, the souls of the feminine divine souls that have existed on the planet. And they receive the wisdom and they keep the wisdom close to the earth. I thought, and I was not on anything. I was just walking, but I just had this incredible thought. I was deep in meditation on what is this relationship to the earth and how much have we forgotten who we truly are, where we've truly come from, where we're truly going. And all the distractions, all the fear, the division, the violence, the politics, the health, the this, the that, the media, the images, the simply do not exist in nature. So anyway, that's the realization that I had. And it's cool that going out into the woods, according to Tokyo's Nippon Medical School and the study that they found, that women who spent 6 hours in the woods over the course of 2 days had an increase in virus and tumor fighting white blood cells, and the boost lasted at least 7 days afterwards. And according to a study in the Korean Journal of Radiology, people who were shown pictures of, so if you cannot get outside, this is also interesting. If you can't get outside, now remember, we come from the ground. Where's this body? I mean, the whole narrative of we are what we eat, we truly are, because our body makes what we give it. So we are made of that which we consume. But also, where does the matter that we consume come from? Everything comes from the earth. Be it food, even if it's processed food, every chemical, everything comes from the earth. So we come from the earth. These bodies come from the earth. So I found this fascinating. According to a study in the Korean Journal of Radiology, people who were shown pictures of scenic natural landscapes had heightened activity in areas of the brain associated with recall of happy memories compared to people shown urban landscapes. So put some outdoor shots at your desk or set them as your monitor background for some help in a pinch, meaning you just looking at nature in an image can activate your recall of being in nature, which your body will then, I remember that. And you'll probably want to go back out into nature. So you're not stuck. You're not stuck. And your mental health right now, your emotional health is exactly where you're supposed to be right now, so that you can awaken to what's on the other side of the anxiety, what's on the other side of the fear, what's on the other side of the depression. And you know what's on the other side? One that thing I guarantee you will find: freedom, a lack of shame, unconditional love, not sourced by another human being, but sourced from the origin of love itself. And as I said to my friends last night, which I've said on a podcast before, you want to know what love loves? Love loves love. So we are to love love as well. And when we have the courage to go within, search within ourselves, to question why, to reconnect to nature, to look at the wisdom of the earth, when we can align ourselves back to that, we can drop our walls, we can become vulnerable. And I define vulnerability as having the courage to experience love, not just courage, but to experience love in its purest form. That's why a soldier who gives his life for his fellow soldier on the battlefield, even it could be as most violent as it possibly could be on planet Earth, but he gave of himself in love. He was vulnerable, he was courageous, and he gave of himself in love. Jesus said, greater love has no man than this, that he laid down his life for his friend. So when we become vulnerable again, drop our walls, and have the courage to step through, have the courage to seek within, have the courage to dissect our beliefs and look at them and think, does this really bring tranquility and peace? Does this really bring balance in my life? Does this really help me stand like a tree or a fern and have the relationship to all that is? Does it? And if not, you have every opportunity, power, and authority to choose differently. Choose differently today, my brothers and sisters. And go all the way. Go all the way. No man knows the day nor the hour that your life, no one knows the day nor the hour when our lives will be over. So give it everything. Give it all of you. Wring yourself out at the end of your days and say, there was nothing I didn't look at, uncover. There was no fear that I didn't go through and discover love on the other side. There was no narrative from someone that kept me in shame and shackles and bondage. There was no relationship that I didn't look at and say, was this a healthy relationship for me? Does this support my journey? Be free. You have that sovereign right and authority. You're all such beautiful gifts in this world. All of you. Beautiful, divine, sovereign gifts. As every tree is a gift. Even when we're not aware, the oxygen that it releases, the carbon dioxide that it takes in. We are that. We are the same. We are gifts. So awaken to the gifts of you. Awaken to the divinity of you. I think one of the things that will be very important in an episode coming up is I'm going to talk a lot about the doctrines of victimhood. The doctrines that keep us stuck in the chains, that tell us we're not enough, we're not good enough, we're not smart enough, that we're born sinners, that we're broken from the beginning, that we have no choice, that we're just, and this existence is just, that's a gnarly, gnarly life to live, guys. So I'm going to talk about the doctrine of victimhood in the next podcast. I got more guests coming. We got a lot of guests lined up, but this is the season of solo episodes, and I hope it blesses you. I feel really good. I mentioned on a podcast the other day, I feel really good. I feel like I finally reached the capstone to my healing process. I finally reached the capstone to my healing process. And I feel great. And I'm excited to build with you. I'll help you go within and search and find your bottom so that you can build a healthy foundation. But if you're on your journey of building, I'll help you build. Let's go. This is our time. I am Lucas Mack. This is the Golden Rule Revolution. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And I'll talk to you on the next episode. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for listening. For support in your journey, go to my website, lucasmack.com.